Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Coming on today to show you how to make the little boxes that I made for the 3-box challenge way back about a month ago now, I think, and I said I would show you how to make the little pyramid box, which if you remember, sort of something along these lines. It just folds up to make a little pyramid. So for this you need a piece of square paper, and I've chosen to use a 6x6 just because you need to make some measurements. So with a 6x6 you need to score it at 2 and 4. Oops, sorry, I realized I was way off screen. And then turn it around and score it at 2 and 4. So that makes 9 squares. I haven't chosen the best of paper, have I? 9 squares here. So along each side you need to mark the 3-inch point, or the middle of the middle square basically. So the middle of the middle square, as the square is 2 inches, is 1 inch. So you just make a mark there, and then you need to score from the corner of that square up to the point, because you're basically making the triangles. So you score like that, and you do the same on the other side. Okay, so do the same on this side, and you do that on all 4 points. So yeah, so that gives you this triangular shape here. Okay, now you need to make some little flaps, because if you just use the triangles as themselves, obviously there'll be gaps in the box. So so what I did was I just drew a line. It's my pen. Sorry, I was all prepared. Let's see if I can find a writing implement here. Okay. Here we go. Excuse my arm. Right, so basically I just did that by eye, and I just kind of did a little line, and then I'll be joining that up like that. So with each one, little, sort of a little angular line on each one. Just join this up like this, and like that, and like that, and like that, like that. Just sort of that sort of idea. So then you're just going to cut that shape out with the little tabs. As you can see, so far we haven't done any what's the word? Burnishing. That's the word I'm trying to look for. Okay, so these tabs, well, they try to make them neat. I mean, I'm sorry, I've done this very roughly, but they won't be seen. So, and obviously it's better to do this on the wrong side of the paper, whereas I've done it on the right side of the paper, just so that the biro marks aren't shown. So okay, so that's that. So the important thing is that that point is in the middle of each square, otherwise it won't work. They won't line up. So okay, so you end up with a shape like that, okay, which is what I've got here. Now there are 2 ways of doing this. You can either glue the pieces together, which I'm going to do, or you can do as I've done with the other one and just put a hole in the top and thread ribbon through. So I'm just going to just take this, actually I'll just bring this mat in. You can see better. The lighting's not very good and I apologize for that. So yeah, so basically you want a point at the top of each one of these little triangles, and hopefully if we've done it right it will work. So right, okay, and then you just need to fold and burnish the other score lines. I did make a few mistakes with this when I was doing this little template, because I was trying to score with my scoreboard from there to there, and it wasn't easy, so in the end I decided to give up. So there we are. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to glue 3 of these triangles together. So so I'm going to glue along this one and this one, and just bring them together to a point. Okay, so that one, and then this one, and just glue that to this one. Okay, see my triangles aren't equal, which isn't very good. Not quite sure what's happened there. Might have been better to use double-sided tape because they don't want to stick. Now for this template I've actually used some quite thin paper. If you use card, it's perfectly all right. It makes a nice sturdy box. Okay, so I've glued together 3 triangles, and as you can see I've got this 4th one. So the 4th one is left open so that you can put your things in it, and then this one actually stays unglued, and you put a hole in it. So a hole in this one, and I should really have put the hole in the other one on the opposite side before I glued it down. Let's see if I can do that without ruining this. Yeah, so you need a hole on either side, opposite sides, and then you just get some ribbon or some string or whatever you happen to have. Got this piece of, the thing is that the whole little hole thing that I've got is really small, so I'm not sure whether it's going to whether this is going to go through it or not, but it seems to be okay. Right, so you pull it together, you make sure that this last flap is inside, and then you just do a little bow on the top, or a knot, or whatever you want on the top. So that's one way of holding it together, and as I said before, it makes a nice little decoration for the tree, or I mean it's a very pretty little thing. Yeah. However, I just want to show you this idea, which I've also used in the past. So with this one, I've put a hole in all of the sides, and just trying to thread this string back in. If you don't want to glue it for any reason, you still need to burnish, of course, and have these edges so that they go in. But if you go from the outside to the inside, inside to outside, outside to inside, inside to outside, you can then just pull it closed. Just make sure that the tabs are all inside, which they are, and then you can just tie a knot or a bow or whatever you want. And so that's a different way of closing it. if you don't want to glue the edges. So it does work. I'm a bit all fingers and thumbs, I'm sorry, but yeah, it does work. And so there we are. So those are the two different ideas, ways of closing it. Now, you can make this any size you want. The important thing is that you have a square, and for ease of making it, I would say the square needs to be divisible by 3 so that you can easily make the score lines. But, you know, if you want to play around with other measurement like 7.5 and go 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, that's fine, or 8. I don't know what 3s into 8 is, but you know, so there are different measurements, so you can make them as big or as small as you like. So that's the pyramid box, and I'm now going to try and show you the heart box. So the heart box, this is the template which I got off the internet. I downloaded it from I think from Pinterest actually. So I have tried to reproduce this in cardstock. So basically you need a piece of card that is 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches, and on the long side you want to score it at, sorry, on the short side you want, no, here we are. You want to score it at 2 1/4, 3.5, 5 3/4, and 7. Okay, and then on the short side you want to score it at 1/2 inch and 1 3/4, and then turn it round, and again 1/2 inch and 1 3/4. So you end up with a piece of card that's got all these little boxes. I don't know whether it's showing up very easily, but okay, so I'm going to cut away the things that we definitely don't need. So on the long side I'm going to cut away this box, and I'm going to cut down here, and I'm going to cut along here. So these 2 little boxes at the top you don't need, and this one here we don't need. I'm going to leave that other bit that's got a cross in it for the moment. So here again, cut away these 2 boxes here, and then these 2, so cut those away, and this little fellow here. Right, and again I'm going to cut down this little fellow here, cut all of this away. Oops. Okay, cut away this big box here as well, and again I'm going to leave this for the moment, and again cutting away these 2 boxes. Oops. And this little box here. Right, so we've done all of the cutting away. Now these parts where there's this dark line here, this we need to cut away this little bit. Okay, so basically on these little squares here you just join one corner to the other corner and draw a line, and then that's what you cut away. So we're going to just cut those away as well. Okay, because we don't need those. Okay. And so now we're left with this shape. Let's bring back this again. This shape. Now this box here, you need to measure them along the middle, mark the middle, and draw a line which is about 1¼ inches long. And we're going to cut up that line. So we're just going to cut up straight up that line as far as it goes. And on this one, you do it on the opposite side, so that there's a cut like that. And then to make the heart, you draw, perhaps if you have a heart, I think that probably is the best thing. If you have a heart shape, you just draw around it, but you need to make something that's sort of this sort of shape. I'm not sure how mine's going to work, but anyway, so half the heart is this side, and then the other half of the heart is this side. Okay, so I'm just going to cut down here. I have to say I used the template to make my heart shape, but if you have a heart, you know, your cut out heart, then that would work. Right, so that's all of that. So then we're going to and then along this dotted line, actually before you cut this thing away, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so before you cut this square out, this bit away altogether, if you go from this point to that point, and just draw a line up into this point. So first of all, you're going to draw a line there, and then from this point to that point, because you want to score along that line. And I don't think I've actually scored these, so I'll just get a ruler. So basically this is yeah, this is going to be that bit is the fiddly bit of the box. This bit. Okay, so we're going to continue burnishing our box. Now I've used quite a thick card for this, and that might not have been a very good idea, but we'll see. Okay, so that's that one, this one, and then this one, and this one. And then here, I think that's all of them. And then these ones where we've scored here, we need to burnish them like this. So they kind of, you push it in and pull this back up again. I'm sure you're familiar with that type of fold. This box needs no glue, as did the other one. No, well, the other one needed a little bit of glue, but this box needs no glue at all. So yeah, so we'll just burnish those. So you can see the box is coming together. Now these bits, we need just to angle them a little bit. So yes, so that they'll fit in the box. So just so that they fold in nicely. So basically what we're going to do, you can see then the whole box comes together like this, and we put this piece, oops, okay, and I can see that I have cut this a little bit too long, but anyway, basically what you do is you slip these two together to form your heart, and then these two go inside like that, and there we are. Something not quite right with it. I think what happened when I well, you could glue these together to stop that sort of coming open. You can glue those together, and then I think what has happened is that my piece of cut on one side, I know what happened. I scored at the wrong place. Instead of scoring at 2 1/4, I think I scored at 2 3/8. Oops, so sorry. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I don't know quite what happened there. But anyway, I hope you can see the idea. It's not a brilliant thing, but you can see that this piece is too long. If I take this off and cut this down a bit, that probably will solve the problem, but then we don't have the heart, but we can imagine it. Okay. Can imagine the heart, okay, because that would have been attached to that, and that's attached to that, and I think, yes, you do need to glue something, possibly these flaps you need to glue, because at least with this card, which is very springy and quite stiff, but yeah, that's better. Yeah, so these two need to meet in the middle, but mine were overlapping, so I had to cut that little bit off. So I'm sorry if that's a bit of a mishmash. As I say, I took my template from the internet, and it was much easier just to follow the lines and fold it and everything. So but you just make sure that this here on this side, which is what the mistake I made, that this line, you know, that there's quite a good space here, because when I cut mine, it was very close to this edge, so that was a bit dangerous, I would say, for my box. So this is actually, with these measurements, this line is 1 1/8 inches on both sides. No, in fact, the other side, yes, no, it's 1 1/8 inch. So I think I might have cut mine a bit too far. So there we are. So anyway, so I hope this gives you some idea of this box. I probably made it look much harder to make than it is. And here are the triangular boxes, which I think work quite well. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all again in my next video. Bye for now.